All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going to look at, you probably thought it was going to be the Rifter number 4. Everyone else did, except me. It's actually the Rifter number 5. And in this segment, we're going to go over the table of contents, going to tell you what's what in this book, and I'm going to tell you which two sections I'm going to have a whole other video on. And we're going to get to it right now.
We welcome all people, regardless of background, belief, or identity, to play tabletop role-playing games. Let's engage our imaginations, pull a veil over reality, and immerse ourselves in fantastic worlds. Don't be a disruption at the table, and always remember, it's just a game. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. Here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday night stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Please leave us a comment with your thoughts and experiences. If you enjoy our gaming content, please be sure to subscribe to Legion of Myth. Your punishment was to get the long advertisement.
Long one. Yeah, I got the long advertisement. Sorry. All right, well, this is the cover for the Rifter number 5. It's I don't like this cover very much because there's a ley line walker pointing at a ley line and the other guy going, yeah, man, I know what they look like. They're freaking everywhere. We're heading there. Oh, you mean to the giant blue wall? Yeah, thanks for pointing the way. I couldn't tell. Douche. But we're going to move on to the table of contents. Start right here.
I mean, that is iconic art. It's in the.
I know, but I never liked it.
Okay, fair.
All right. Starting with, as always, from behind the desk of Kevin Sambita, talks about since this came out in January '99. He talks about the past year in 1998, and that December was a fantastic year for them. He signed over 3,000 books that December for the Christmas giveaway. Grab bag, whatever it was.
Let's think about that for a second, though, because he still does the Christmas.
Yes, for the last 3 years I bought it, and I got signatures all over that thing, all over them. And I get between 5 and 7 things, and his signatures on more than half of them every year.
I don't know if that guy is still here that was commenting earlier before we kind of started the stream. Was it? How do you pronounce that? Quost IYH. Don't know if he's still here, but he was asking if Palladium's still around. Well, guess what?
Yep.
Still signing books, still doing Christmas packages, still doing absolutely.
And then we go from that to page 8, where it's Palladium news and info. This one I'm never going to choose because this is stuff that, hey, upcoming in the year 2000, in 1999. You know, like, well, it'd be sad if it hasn't come out and someone haven't.
Wait, is Beyond the Supernatural Magic mentioned?
Yes, Beyond the Supernatural Magic was mentioned, I think, in Rifter 2 or 3. Yeah, and that still hasn't happened yet, and that's been, 30 years? So, yeah, that's bad. And then we have the Knights of the Dinner Table. This is a comic, the comic style format, where a comic in a magazine type format with the panels. And it's all about a role-playing group. And it's all about role-playing group tropes. There's the murder hobo. There's the guy who always talks. There's a guy who never talks. There's the game master who over-explains things or under-explains things, stuff like that. So all of it is supposed to be comedic. So it's all very, very tropey and either 0 or 100, nothing in between. So check it out. They are funny. Especially, I think the murder hobo's name is Bob. He's just, that's just, he dies like, why'd I die? Because you did something really, really stupid. Wait,
hold on. Was it wyverns flying overhead, trying to hide behind a rock?
Oh, next to a rock, because from overhead, you're next to, unless you're under. So yeah,
He's still mad at me about that.
I know. And then we have page 17. We have the Robotech. We have new mecha. Now this is mecha for not just the Zentradi or the micronized Zentradi, but also a couple for the humans. The Southern Cross stuff. There's the REF stuff, like the Alpha and stuff like that. So we have new mechs for that. Now, I didn't want to have a whole thing about it, a whole segment about it, because it wasn't enough interesting there. I mean, sure, it's great to have, it's awesome, but it doesn't give anything significantly new.
Well, let's be fair. He also doesn't have the Robotech line anymore, so it's not like it's something you could go and get excited about this moment anyway.
Fair enough. And then at the page 22, we have the Heroes Unlimited Second Edition, Heroes Throughout the Ages. Now, this one is going to be in our next segment because it gives guidelines, not rules, guidelines on creating heroes from the 1900s up until 1999. Right? So, some things are drastically changed, like some powers that are major powers back in the day are minor powers, because they deal with, say, manipulating technology. Oh, I can manipulate a steam engine, like stuff like that. Like, great, that's a minor power now, okay? Because there are no computers yet. There's no stuff like that. So there's lots of tweaks in there, and I'm going to get into that when I get into it in the next segment. Then we have Heroes Unlimited again, but also Ninja Super Spies and others being TMNT also fits in this. The Rahu Man. This is if you know from other game systems, the giants usually have more than 2 arms. This one has 4, and they actually came about on Earth, were accidentally rifted to Earth 12,000 years ago, and just spent most of their time in the mountains. The reason being is because the place they're from, the atmosphere is thinner and the temperature is lower. So being at a much higher elevation is the best of both worlds for them. It is both thinner atmosphere and cooler temperature. The problem is they had high technology, but they lost the ability to maintain or recreate it. So they devolved, technologically speaking, over the course of the thousands of years that they've been on Earth. Then we have the Palladium Fantasy Second Edition, Mind of Their Own. It's a look at legendary rune weapons in the Palladium world. Again, just like the Robotech mechs, it's interesting, it's fun to have, but it doesn't exactly merit its own segment. It gives you between 4 and 6 named legendary weapons, and then a little bit of rules on creating your own, guidelines and such that are supplemental to the main Palladium Fantasy book.
Okay.
It's nice. And then on page 49, we have Riffs and Robotech, The Right Stuff. These are specialized pilot OCCs. Now, it's very niche, so didn't get its own segment, but it is very interesting. There's an OCC called the Barnstormer. This is the guy that does all of the cool tricks and stunts and all of the A-Team Howling Mad Murdoch nonsense that he does, like flying helicopters upside down. Yeah, that kind of stuff you have in here, and which is fun. And if it fits your campaign, if it fits your niche in your campaign, it's a great addition. But it's very situational, and it's not for every table. And the next one, page 62, the Riffs, the World of the Operator, that is going to be segment 3, because I believe that the operator is someone who is not looked upon in the proper light. If you have any gear, APCs, hover vehicles, especially power armor, robots, Glitter Boy especially, the operator is going to be just right up there with Wilderness Scout with necessity in your group. You're going to need him. He is the world's greatest mechanic because he's also a psychic. And not only that, giving a background and explanation, a better one than the main books, but it also gives specialized OCCs. You have a operator that specializes in vehicles, operator that specializes in armor, operator specializes in weapons, stuff like that. So
was this pulled over from Heroes Unlimited into Rifts? Is that basically what happened?
Pardon?
Because doesn't it seem like the hardware from Heroes Unlimited?
That is entirely possible. Yes. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
angry. I was just curious if that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see where you get that. And on page 70, this is Spatial Mage additions that were in, I believe, number 3
Yeah.
that were omitted by accident. So you have more spells, you have more abilities that to certain
Oh, no, it
Spatial
was like
Mage
that
OCCs.
page or whatever that was missing, right?
Yes, remember that one we were talking about? Yeah, because all of the special powers were cut off. Well, they have it in this one. So this is an addendum to the Spatial Mage in Rifts 2 or 3, or Rifter 2 or 3. Then we have Nightbane, Tribes of the Moon Part 2. Obviously, I'm not going to start with a Part 2, so this didn't have a chance to getting its own segment. But in my opinion, a lot of the Nightbane additions beyond the main book aren't as good, and this one was no exception. The Tribes of the Moon, these are lycanthropes, and they work alongside Nightbane and other things against the Night Lord, stuff like that. But it didn't seem impactful enough to get its own segment. Plus, like I said, I'm not going to start with segment 2. I'm going to start with 1. And then, just like all the other Rifters so far, it has had 2 stories, ongoing stories: The Siege Against Tolkien and Hammer of the Forge. Siege Against Tolkien is obviously in Rifts North America, and Hammer of the Forge is Phase World, 3 Galaxies type stuff, where you are actually following the exploits of a Cosmo Knight.
Because that's the only place a Cosmo Knight can exist.
That's the only place a Cosmo Knight should exist, because anywhere else he's going to be pretty damn OP. Too OP.
Optional rules.
Optional and unofficial rules in source material. Now, this isn't a segment on its own. It's just an explanation of what the Rifter is. Please note that this issue offers an unprecedented amount of official quotes rules and source material. Typically, the vast majority of rules, tables, characters, equipment, adventures, and stories are optional or alternative things that one can include in his campaign or enjoy reading. They are not official in the main games or world settings. So the Rifter is not official addendums and updates to canon source material. These have always been and always will be articles and examples and things from super fans who write in, and who Kevin and anyone else who reads it at Palladium thinks is interesting or cool or novel or whatever, and they'll put it in the Rifter.
So it can be canon for your alternate universe. It
can be canon for your game, because every game in Rifts, guess what? Another universe.
Yep.
Every game is another universe. There's countless universes out there. Billions of them are so close to each other as to be completely indistinguishable. That's your table. So you can use them at your table. You can not use them at your table. It's completely fine. The Rifter is for giving the game master or the players ideas, or giving the game master more items, tables, loot that he can work into his game, because he should have thought of that earlier. Oh my God, why didn't I think of it? I'm going to use that. Stuff like that. That's what the Rifter is for. So that's what you should use it for. And then we have it coming next issue. I'm not going to get into that. That's spoilers. Spoilers for next issue. I'm already doing spoilers now. This is the next issue. So
people are watching this on video.
Actually going to be 4. So we're going back in time.
Yeah, people who are watching this on video later are like, what are they talking about? It's because Heathen Dog couldn't count.
I can't count.
That's my story.
YouTube lied to me.
And we were supposed to be doing 4. He's doing 5. That's okay. That's going to make 4 special.
There it is. So that is what is in Rifter number 5, printed and minted in January 1999. And what do we have? Any?
I like I just started 1, but I like. I don't really care about. Can you scroll down for a second on that page? So that Rahu Man, I had no interest in that whatsoever. But
Yeti.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, again, somebody else might, but the one that the intelligent weapons for Palladium Fantasy, on the other hand, I say, okay, you know what, that might be worth for me. That might be worth getting the book for.
Yeah, I mean
So
the legendary and rune weapons, and extra rules and how to make them or find them or whatever. Yeah, I mean if you want to go that way with your game, this is a good pickup. Yeah.
So Mike D says, dude, one time I had something that was weird about my Christmas box. A Kevin called me for clarification. I hung up, was like, was that Simbita?
Yeah, probably.
And he
Very likely.
remembers that you didn't talk to him. No, you may have just assuming things there. Like that guy, I called him for clarification. He didn't even talk to me.
Yeah, because there's only like 4 or 5 people at Palladium Books that would call you if there's a problem. One of them is Kevin Zambita, and there are no other Kevins who would be the one to call you.
Wayne, Alex,
His late wife.
Well, yeah, Kathy. I'm trying to think what Julius might be another one.
Yeah,
whoever
the warehouse guy
Kevins.
was. Yeah, no other Kevins though. So yes, you did hang up on Kevin Zambita. You should apologize.
Well, we're just assuming that they probably did have the conversation. It's just the way that paragraph came up. It sounded like I was like, "What? No." So I didn't star anything else.
Okay.
We'll probably have more when folks hear about the joys of what are you doing first?
The Heroes Unlimited, Heroes Throughout the Ages.
Heroes Throughout the Ages, and then afterward, we'll find out more about the operator. So we'll see folks then. Like, subscribe, share for more Rifter.